Alan Wake released on May 14, 2010 on Xbox 360 to much acclaim, boasting a Metacritic reviews rating of 83, and to back that up, gamers gave it an 82. It was a great game, and a game that I played through on both PC and Xbox 360. From the launch of Alan Wake in 2010, we fast forward 11 and a half years to October 2021 when Alan Wake Remastered dropped for PC, PlayStation 4 and 5, and the Xbox One along with series consoles. The remaster received a Metacritic score of 80 based on reviews, but slipped to a less enthusiastic 75 based on user scores. Today, I'm going to talk about my experience playing the remaster on PS5. You might be asking yourself, why now? The game has been out for over 3 years? Well, I picked up the Lake House add-on for Alan Wake 2 and thought it might be fun to play through the whole series all in one go. So here we are, back at the beginning in Bright Falls. I must admit, I'm really glad I decided to replay Alan Wake prior to playing Alan Wake 2. But more on that in the next review. I'm Mental9R, and this is a Caffeine Entertainment game review. Right from the start, you'll step into the shoes of Alan Wake, the troubled author that finds himself in the eerie town of Bright Falls, where fiction becomes reality. Alan is suffering from writer's block and looking for a relaxing vacation to get away from it all. To Alan, the peaceful setting of Cauldron Lake in the town of Bright Falls is just what the doctor ordered, a chance to sit back and relax without all the pressures of the big city of New York. Unfortunately for him, his wife Alice had different plans and that she felt the time away would allow Alan to overcome his writer's block and get the creativity flowing again. However, when this secret plan of hers was revealed, it didn't go as planned. Alan stormed away only to have Alice disappear while he was gone. The rest of the game is spent searching for Alice. The storytelling in Alan Wake really sets it apart. Each chapter in the game is laid out like a chapter in a novel. With Wake doing the narration, it really works well. Throughout its duration, you'll learn more and more about Alan and his personal demons, and of course, the darkness that you battle. Personally, I found the story engaging, and the cliffhangers at the end of each chapter kept me wanting to find out what happens next. Visually, to be perfectly honest, I was a little disappointed. Sure, it looks better than the 11-and-a-half-year-old Xbox 360 version, but overall it didn't deliver the visuals I was hoping for. That disappointment aside, it is a noticeable upgrade from the original version of the game, but nothing like the remakes of the Resident Evil franchise. Perhaps that's a bit unfair to say given this is a remaster and those were remakes. Nonetheless though, I feel like they could have done more with it. Its upticks in visuals is probably more comparable to going from The Last of Us on PlayStation 3 to the remaster of it on PlayStation 4. Still though, considering we're 2 console generations beyond its launch, I was hoping for more. The game does a great job of using audio along with the fog to build tension and alert the player of a coming threat. The fog swirls in, and with it comes the darkness, and with that comes the Taken. The Taken can only be stopped by breaking the darkness's hold, using the flashlight or flares and the like, then finishing the job with your pistol and or shotgun. The exception being the flare gun, which can dispatch multiple opponents at once. I would use my flashlight to slow the leaders down so that the Taken behind them could close the gap, allowing for maximum damage by the flare gun. It's a strategy that served me well throughout my playthrough. When we look at the graphics options, there's no option to choose between a performance or quality mode. All we get are options for film grain and motion blur. When we think about the performance of the game, what we have is a largely flawless 60Hz experience on PS5 as one would expect. There's really not much to say here, to be honest. It was good. But for the odd stutter and transitional areas, something like coming out of a cutscene, the game held a solid 60Hz. Honestly though, this is expected for a game that's almost a dozen years old and received the bare minimum in terms of a remaster, in my opinion anyway. Overall, it performed excellent, and I didn't experience any crashes or bugs, which is also a bonus these days.
Just for fun, I also tested a bit on my Xbox One X, and I have to say, the game ran a very smooth 60Hz there too, at least for the portions I played. When I think about the audio in the game, the 3D audio was quite effective. I found that I could easily ascertain the direction of noises and the enemies in the game. Unfortunately, however, the audio for weapons didn't get a makeover as part of the remaster. In general, their sound definitely felt dated, especially the pistol. Voice acting, however, was top-notch when it came to Alan Wake, and Barry was also well done. I can't say that any of the remaining characters were bad per se, but they didn't stand out to me like the aforementioned duo. Soundtrack overall was really solid. I do gotta throw out a little special mention here though to the old gods of Asgard. I do like me some metal music. The DualSense controller was well utilized, although not to the level of many games. Things like the adaptive triggers came into play with various weapons. The nuances of the terrain and things of that nature weren't something that was noticeable, however. Other areas of the game that I wish had a makeover is the controls. They just felt dated overall. I do wish that the remake received an update so that the control layout matched that of Alan Wake 2. I can't tell you how many times I jumped up in the air because I'd press X instead of circle to collect items. Perhaps that's a me problem though, wouldn't be the first time. Something notable for those that haven't played the game, but intend to, Alan Wake rewards wandering off the beaten path. It's there that you'll find things like ammo, the occasional new weapon, and even the odd manuscript page. The game rewards you if you take your time and explore a little bit. When it comes to replayability, there's probably not much here in that regard, to be honest. It's just one of those games. So unless you're a trophy hunter or achievement hunter, there's not much to pull you back. After it's all said and done, Alan Wake is still a very good game over a decade later. The remaster breathes a bit of new life into it without a doubt, and it adds a bit of that extra polish to it overall. The bottom line? I'm giving Alan Wake Remastered a 78 out of 100. As I said, it's a very good game, and fans of psychological horror would do well to play it. The story is engaging, well acted, and throw in the fact that it can be found at discounted prices, it's well worth taking a look. Well, that's all I've got for you. Thanks so much for joining me today for my take on Alan Wake Remastered. If you stayed with me this long, I'd greatly appreciate it if you drop a like, subscribe if you're on YouTube, and a follow if you're on Rumble, and maybe share this video out with a few of your friends. I'd also love to hear from you in the comments below. Once again, I'm Mental9R, this is Caffeine Entertainment, and don't forget, it's time to wake up and play some games.